Imagine being forced to leave your friends, family, school, and everything that you know to go back to a country that you don't even remember. Resolved, the U.S. should allow immigrants who have entered the country illegally to become U.S. citizens because they deserve a better life. There are three main reasons to support this. First, immigrants play a big role in our economy and work extremely hard. Second, they might have been trying to escape a bad situation in their previous country. And third, try and put yourself in their shoes and understand their situation.
You may not realize it, but illegal immigrants play a crucial role in our economy. As the New York Times states, illegal immigrants last year contributed $11.46 billion to our economy. This is a very large number, and they work jobs that are very low income, such as construction, farm jobs, and factory workers. These are jobs that the average American does not want to have. Think about it. If you were to be given the choice between a cushy office job that pays $15 an hour or a construction job where you work in the hot, sweltering sun for 8 hours a day and only make barely enough to feed your 2 children and your wife, that is terrible. Even we, as Americans, do not have the kind of work ethic they do to be able to work those jobs. There was even a man. He lived in Texas. He came here illegally. He was escaping the drug cartels. They were after him because he pointed them out to the local authorities. He had 2 children and a wife. He worked 8 hours a day to make ends meet for his family.
Besides playing a big role in our economy, illegal immigrants may have been trying to escape a bad situation. They would rather live here in fear of being deported than move back to the country they came from. In an article we read by Jonathan Blitzer, he states that his mother decided to send him and his brother to El Salvador for a year to show them how easy they had it in America. Another story is of a man named Aníbal Morales. He came here illegally from Guatemala. He had a mentally disabled mother and no dad. He stayed with his cousins, but they made him sleep outside. He is now a citizen and causes no trouble. He has a family and is a teacher. Their past countries were so awful that they are scared to go back and are being sent back as punishment.
Most immigrants leave their country in the pursuit of happiness. In the process of becoming a legal American citizen is very tedious. Now, and having to go back to the place that you are escaping in the first place just isn't fair for you. What if you were in that situation? What if you had to leave the home that you've been in for so long? Many of these immigrants are in fear of Donald Trump, our new president. And when you have the leader of the place you live in that isn't very fond of you or wants you to leave, you're scared. And you don't want to be scared in the home of the brave. There's a quote from a man that was deported from Texas to El Salvador, who had a criminal record, but was clean for a couple of years before he was deported. Said, "In your mind, you grow up thinking you're from there. Then the shocker comes that you're not. Give me 5 years in prison, give me 10 years, but don't kick me out of my house." This man now can't see his children, his 3 children living in a different country, never being able to see them again because he's living in a different place miles away. How would you feel if you didn't see your kids ever anymore?
Our safety is at stake. Illegals are becoming more popular in this society, and it's going to bring us down in ruins. Immigrants that enter this country illegally should not be allowed to become legal United States citizens. They cause dangers to our society, cause legal actions that must be acted upon, and can bring our economy down in flames. Having them live in the U.S. can definitely bring 2 positives, including diversity and excellent economic upbringings, but they cause much more harm than good. I urge our country to take a closer look into this problem.
Illegal immigrants can bring and cause danger to the U.S. that harm our own citizens and generate problems with our public safety. One case was of Gene Jacques. Gene came to the U.S. illegally in 1996 and was later involved in a fight in Connecticut where one man was killed and one was fatally shot in the head, but survived. Mr. Jacques was convicted of attempted murder and weapons charges. He served his 15 years. When he was released in 2012, he was just convicted. In June of 2015, however, he fatally stabbed Ms. Chadwick in a dispute over drugs. This proves that after these punishments, the immigrants go back to their own ways. Therefore, the only way to keep them out of the U.S. is to deport them back to their native country.
Illegal immigrants can establish legal issues in our country that affects both them and our citizens. A lot of people think that immigrants just come here to work and that they don't cause issues. Well, they're wrong. Nixon states, records recently released by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the agency responsible for deportations, show that more than 8,000 immigrants with criminal convictions in the United States have been set free here since 2013. These convictions lead to detainment and eventually court. This court takes lawyers, money, and the community, impacting each and every one of those groups. They challenge our legal system in ways that it's never been challenged before. And it's time to put an end to the struggles that illegal immigration gives us.
Illegal immigration can produce economic and financial complications in the U.S. for those who have legal citizenship. Immigrants don't seem like a problem, but if you really think about the impact they can make on our economy, it comes into perspective. Non-Nixon states, there are about 8 million unauthorized workers in the United States. There are millions of undocumented immigrants in the United States, and they can cost us a lot of money. Illegal immigration costs U.S. taxpayers about $113 billion a year. The education for the children of illegal aliens continues the single largest cost to taxpayers in the annual price tag of nearly $52 billion. Legal citizens are giving billions of dollars to pay for the resources people use who refuse to show us the same courtesy.
All right, you may have 2 minutes to prep for rebuttal.
They haven't become citizens.
I would make America great again. I saw she's in my sister's. She hasn't done it yet.
Okay.
These guys got that. Like you guys have green beans.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
I think that important in this case, but there's a way to find out. Yeah. But I like the comparison about how many Americans
What's the
citizens
thing
from
that's
immigrants.
I think it might be like, you can like stick like a screw into there, and turn it, and then it'll tighten it up. Okay. What do you think would happen if I just grabbed the camera?
my opponents may have stated that illegals are becoming popular, I don't see it as so. In the US today, popular opinion has shifted very far against illegal immigrants under the new administration. With them, it's borderline on racism now. Do we really want our country to become racist against people that we consider as our country neighbors? And our own citizens, also, they can commit violent crimes. They can commit terrible crimes. They can commit crimes far worse than any illegal immigrant that is looking to fly under the radar and that is looking to stay in this country and be a productive part will. So, are you saying we should deport our own citizens too, just because they may have a mental issue or because they commit a terrible crime? Also, if only 8,000 immigrants were convicted of crimes, then out of the 11 million that are living in this country, how is this a big problem? I'm not very good at math, but that percent is very small. Now, also, you have mentioned that they use taxpayer money for their services. If they become legal, they will no longer use those services. They will be legal US citizens with social security numbers, jobs, and an identity. They will have a voice.
No two humans are the same. Even ask the mother of two identical twins. She would tell you that even though they are physically identical, their personalities and morals would be completely different. Our opponent has a great point that not all illegal immigrants are the same. Some are mothers trying to save their children from a life or death situations. Others trying to escape war and poverty. We understand that most of these people have a rough life. We're not heartless on the situation. Jean Jacques, just one illegal immigrant, right? What about the other 100 that were like him? Even worse, the other 8,000 illegal immigrants that also committed heinous crimes. Our own legal citizens, scared to be in their own humble homes because we let one unstable illegal prisoner loose on the streets. Our own Senator Grassley states, lives are being lost. It can't continue. They come here for a fresh start, huh? What if they wanted to get education for their kids, be a part of the economy, a voice in our government? They can only get that if they wanted to be here fully. With the logical thing to do is apply for citizenship. After they broke our laws, the fact of the matter is that illegal immigrants pose so much more harm to this country than good.
We believe that legal immigrants should be allowed to become U.S. citizens because they deserve a chance. We went over some reasons that prove this. They play a large role in our economy with their hard work. They may be trying to escape from a bad situation in their country, and some of them can't go back for various reasons. 1,100 illegal immigrants are deported yearly, many of them innocent. Think, what if you were them? What if you had to face the problem that they struggled through? Listen to them and understand.
This is not okay. This is not what we stand for. When have we ever allowed people to come into our country and harm our own citizens? This needs to stop, and it stops right now. This is what we, as the people of America, need to say. You can't become a legal citizen of the United States by illegally entering our country. This declaration alone will help stop the crisis of illegal crossings and illegal overstays. Very importantly, they will know that you can't just smuggle in, hunker down, and wait to be handed citizenship. It's not going to work that way. Not anymore. For those here illegally today who are seeking legal citizenship, there's only one way to enter the country, and that is by applying for legal citizenship like every other legal